5 p.m. Okay, this week I'll be coming to the lab. Okay, we're going to go through, we'll use the lab this week to revise. I'll be coming to the lab, whatever is coming in the final exam, we'll try and revise it during the 2 hours. The final exam covers everything until this week, which is on sequence selection, file input and file outputs. It's covered in the final exam. Okay, the coding section of the final exam includes the last 3 parts, the last 3 topics. Okay, functions, void and value returning functions, arrays, as well as sequence of file access, file input and file output. Those 3 are part of the coding question in the final exam. I will tell you more about the format of the final exam paper. But the date, like I said, it's scheduled on the 9th. It's afternoon paper. So if you come early in the morning on that Friday, and if you remain within the Nasiru campus, then I'm hoping you will hear from your friends that the paper is scheduled in the afternoon time. Okay, for loop. Okay, week 10, week 11, there was lots of coverage on loops. It's important at this stage, preparing for the final exam, to understand the 3 types of loops. What are the 3 types of loops? While, do while, and the for loop. How to construct those 3 loops are very important, because you're going to use the loop in your array as well. You'll use the loop to populate the array. You also use the loop to display the content of an existing array. Especially the for loop. You'll use the for loop to populate the array. You can also use the for loop to display the content of an array. And in the final exam, you need to understand how to do that. How to insert, how to delete elements from an array. There are 2 types of array. 2 types of array. 1-dimension array and the 2-dimension array. You need to define and declare an array. That's very important. You need to know how to declare a 1-dimension array and also how to declare a 2-dimension array for the final exam. Okay, so what is an array? Array is a simple variable, also called a scalar variable, and is unrelated to any other variable in memory. Sometimes variables are related to each other. Easier and more efficient to treat this as a group. So a group of related variables within the same data type is referred to as an array or array. Storing data in an array or array increases the efficiency of a program. Data can be accessed from internal memory faster than it can be from a file or on a disk. Once stored in an array, data can be used as many times as necessary without having to enter it again. Variables in an array can be used like any other. Most commonly used arrays in business applications are 1-dimensional and 2-dimensional arrays. Okay, the first variable, very important, this statement is very important. The first variable in a 1-dimensional array is assigned a subscript of 0. And the second subscript is 1, and so on. Okay, so if there are 10 elements in an array, an array, then the index of the array, the index of the term used here, the subscript of the array is from 0 to, if there are 10 elements in an array, 10 elements, the content of array is 10 elements. The subscript of those 10 elements are from what to what? From 0 to 9. the first element in the array has a subscript of 0. That's what this first line is trying to explain. First variable in a one-dimensional array is assigned a subscript of 0. The first element, the index of that first element in an array is 0. The last index or the subscript for the last element. In this case, in the example that I'm giving, if there are 10 elements, the first element has an index or subscript of 0. The last element, which is the 10th element, has a subscript or index of 9. Okay, it defies the normal order of how we do things, because first element is always 1. In an array, first element is indexed with the number 0. So if you want to, okay, for example, you refer to a variable in an array by the array name immediately followed by a subscript and close with the square brackets. Okay, for example, sales is the name of array, 0 is the subscript or the index. Okay, the number pointing to the position of the element within the array. The last subscript in array is always 1 less than the number of variables in the array, since the subscript begins at 0. Okay, so the example that I give, if there are 10 elements in an array, the first element is indexed with number 0. The last array, the last element, which is the 10th element, is indexed with 1 less than the number of elements. So there are 10 elements, 1 less, 9. From 0 to 9. Okay, you must declare an array before you can use it, just like variables. Okay, you learned this already. Before you can use a variable, you must declare it first. Likewise for arrays, whether it's a single dimension or double dimensional array, you must declare the array. Also, good programming practice to initialize array variables. Initialize. In other words, okay, put some contents to the array. If it's a single, okay, then at least the value 0 can be typed inside. If it's a double a two-dimensional array, then comma 0, 0 as the two elements within a two-dimensional array. When we talk about declaring a variable, for example, int num1 is equal to, because in integer, this is how you initialize a variable. Okay, double average is equal to 0.0. This is how you initialize a double variable. Likewise, when you declare an array, let's go down. How do you declare or initialize a variable? An array. Data type, array name, open and close brackets, equal to initial values. Okay, so this is how you declare or initialize an array. Okay, just like when you declare a variable, it's the data type first. Okay, so int. Okay, then let's say age open close equals to this is a single dimensional array. Data type, array name. Okay, every array must be accompanied by a pair of open and close square brackets. Equal to, and then you simply initialize. This is how you initialize an array. Okay, with just a value 0. Let's look at the next slide. Number of elements in an integer specifying the size of array and closed in square brackets. You may initialize array elements by entering one or more values separated by commas in braces. Assigning initial values is referred to as populating the array. The values used to populate an array should have the same data type as the array variables. Otherwise, implicit type conversion is performed. Okay, let's look at some examples here on slide number 4. Okay, data type, array name, number of elements equal to initial values. Okay, example number 1. Char letters, that's the name of the variable, the name of the array. Okay, Size of the array is 3. That means it can contain 3 elements or 3 characters. And these are the 3 characters that populating this letters array. Example number 2, double sales 4. 4 is the size of the array. Okay, because it's a double. When you enter the values, make sure it's the same as the data type. Now what's this one? Double sales 4 is equal to 0.0. Okay, the difference between the two. Okay, the second one, double sales 4 is equal to 0. That's an initialized statement. You are initializing the variable. 0.0 is the first element that you are storing inside the array. Whereas the first one, we are populating the sales array with 4 elements. First element is 0.0, second element is 0.0, third element is 0.0, the fourth element is 0.0. So the first one, we are not only initializing, we are also populating. Okay? Another way to, both these statements are correct. Double sales 4 equal to, and then you can simply populate the array with those elements. Okay? Or you can simply say double sales, the size of the array, and then you simply put the first value, original value, or the initial value, which we normally refer to as the initialized value. Both statements are correct. So both statements declare and initialize a 4-element double array named sales. Each element is initialized to 0.0. The first one, we are initializing, at the same time we are populating. Okay, we are populating because the size of our sales array is 4. Okay, so we are populating the array with 4 elements. The first 0.0 is ID'd with an index of 0. The second one is 1. The third one index is 2. Okay, the last element in that array is 3. Example number 3, int number 6. So the size of the array is 6 equal to, and here we are populating this array 12, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, here's another one, int number 6, the size of the array is 6. And here we are putting number 12 only. Both statements declare and initialize a 6-element integer array named numbers. The first element is initialized to 12, and the other elements are initialized with 0. So both statements are values. Let's look at some other examples. You can use an assignment statement or an extraction operator to enter data into an array. Syntax of assignment statement is array name subscript is equal to expression. Expression can include any combination of constants, variables, and operators. Data type of expression must match the data type of the array, otherwise implicit type of conversion will occur. Okay, let's look at this example. Okay, letter is the name of the array, the size of the array is 1 equal to, okay, and here is 1. The assignment statement assigns the letter. Okay, the assignment statement, this is not a declaration statement, it's an assignment statement. Eh? The assignment statement assigns the letter Y to the second element in the letters array. Okay, so letter, that number 1 inside the square bracket is the position of the array which is going to be affected by this value. So whatever was stored inside the first and second position, right? Second position, which is number 1. First position is always 0, the second position is 1. So whatever value is in that position, the second element in the array is going to be inserted or replaced with the letter Y. So the assignment statement assigns the letter Y to the second element in the letters array. In subscript equal to 0. While subscript is less than 0, here we are using a loop. Sales subscript is equal to 0.0. Subscript A plus equals to 1, which is subscript equals to subscript plus 1. The while loop assigns a double number 0.0 to each of the 4 elements in the sales array. The loop provides another means of initializing the array. As mentioned just a few minutes ago, that your understanding of loop, especially the 3 loops, the while and the for loop, is very important when you use arrays, because you're going to use the loop You can use the loop to populate the array. You can also use the loop to display and output the content of an array. So here is an example. Okay, here we are populating a loop. Okay, in subscript is equal to 0, while subscript is less than 4. Okay, so how many elements altogether are we required to put inside this loop called 6? Okay, the initial, the first subscript is 0, which is the first position inside the array, while subscript is less than 0. So less than 0, that means 3, from 0 to 3. So how many elements altogether can we populate that array with? It's going to be 4. Okay, 0, 1, 2, and 3. It's less than 4. Okay, so the last number that you will, the last place that you can fill inside that array is up to position number 3. Okay, so the first position is always 0. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3. It's less than 4, so there are 4 elements that we can add to this array named 6. Here is another example using the for loop. 4 int is equal to 1. X is less than equal to 6. X plus equals to 1. Okay, the loop is the loop name. Sorry, the array name is numbers. Okay, the array name is numbers. X minus 1 is equal to, this is a more complicated one. X minus 1 equals to the power of x. Okay, power of x to the power of 2. Okay, the for loop assigns the squares of the numbers from number 1 to number 6 to the 6 elements numbers array. Okay, it will be interesting to find out how this will, what will be the output, right? So there, C++. File new, source, hash includes IO stream. Using namespace, using namespace, that's int main let's see if we can okay, here we have a loop for index is equal to 1, semicolon, x less than equal to 6, and then x plus 1, x plus 1, okay, and we have numbers. X minus 1 equal to UW x to the power of 2. See out X. Okay, let's look at these loops. Okay, this is just a loop that I'm copying from the loops. Okay, for int x is equal to 1, x less than equal to 6, x plus equals to 1. If you run the value of x by 1. Okay, numbers, this is the array. Okay, x, which is the value minus 1. equals to power of x, okay, to the power of 2. Okay, then it will continue to do that until x is no longer less than equal to 6, and that will end or terminate the loop. And then after that, we'll display the value for x. Okay, what is missing here? This is the code that we copied directly from the notes. This is the header. And this is the CL statement which is going to display the content of the variable x. What else is missing? Okay, first the array is not declared. Okay, the array is not declared. We are using the array inside the loop, but it's not declared. Okay, so how do you declare this array? Can you help me with this one? What's the first thing? How do you declare arrays? This is a single dimension array. What's the first thing? Int y, because the first variable x is an integer. Okay, so we are going to populate this numbers array with the integer. So int. What next? Numbers. The name of the array. Open and close. Okay, equal to initialize with 0. So this is how you can declare and define this array. Int, because we want this array called numbers to store integers only, and we are initializing. The array numbers with the value 0. Anything else which is missing? Okay, let's see what happens. File save. Compile. Okay, we have some errors. Okay, so in function main was not declared in the scope. What's the error? You read this? In function in main, okay, the function po was not declared in this scope. How could I use in debug? A POW is a math function, and therefore you need to add the
include
what's the
IP.
library for
But IP, no? IP.
CMath? Is it? What's the header for using math as a function, like square root and power? Yeah, we discussed it in one of our lectures. CMath function.
Oh, sebenarnya masa dulu ini berani ada itu dia keduanya dari balik cantik kayak sama flashback aja kami dari YouTube juga record pernah sama tuh pasti sesuatu kali ada.
Yeah, include CMath. You need a CMath header. If you're using mathematical functions like square root, round, log, including power. So these are the list. So the error is telling us that because you're using power, you need to add this header, include CMath. Okay, so let's save, let's compile again. It's telling us that C out X is a problem with C out X. Name lookup of X. If not, use not accept.
Here I am.
How you can set see out like this in between values.
Function number was not declared. Numbers.
Message का वो चलिए ना
Cell number is out.
Here I am.
Can you apply marry?
We need to use another loop to display the content of X.
कौन करे
Numbers X. Okay, we just try and move this one.
ये क्या है हमने क्या दे चला है टमाटर कहाँ पे है हमने क्या दे चला है और ऐसी के ना हो रहा है ना 30 मिनट ये बात करें हम तुम्हें कौन करता है आपके पास किसी चल जाएगी
काय नाही जाईल कंपस में
चाहिए ऐसा वही डी मेरे कोड है
बिकॉज़
हाँ लेकिन मैंने कॉल करके पूछा मालूम करा उसे बस ये कि इसकी ऑफेंस कितने है वही कॉल करके बता दे
अरे हमसे पूछ
कौन करके
बोले का तो सीन चले बोला उनको के बारे में पूछ सकता
तो बुक क्या है उसके लिए गाड़ी
हाँ उसके नहीं बोला था कैसे नहीं बोला
One X.
भैया कुछ
पहला डाल दिया और भी इसकी पहले
X plus 2.
कुछ इसमें प्रिंट करी एंटी का एंटी में बताना क्लास क्लास है राइट
मैं कल स्टोरी बैठी जीरो है ना
लेकिन वो कैंसिल हो यार वो कुछ नहीं करी यार पता नहीं कौन सी करी तुम्हें कांचा पण फॅक्टरीला तेल दिसना है ना नहीं रे कांच किस बात करती है
वीडियो यूट्यूब पे
अपलोड करेगा अच्छा कौन करने स्नैकर फोन नंबर 6969
लेकिन वन आवर वीडियो वन डे लगे रिकॉर्ड करते ना नहीं कुछ नहीं तो कर रहे
लाइव स्ट्रीम कर लो
यहाँ कोई ना यहाँ जरूर ट्राई
कौन सी
अपलोड करें
ट्राई करिए कैसे नहीं बात है और इसके साथ ऐसे अपलोड कीजिए
Okay, we'll not. This is what I'm trying to. We'll have to do it properly in a little bit. But this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to populate the array. Okay, populate this, and I'm trying to display the output of that array using this this for loop again. So it's error free, but the result that I'm expecting is not the same as what the program is giving. Okay, let me move on this one, then we'll discuss it in the lab. Okay? Let's move on to. Okay, here's a program entering data into a one-dimensional array. Int increase equal to 0. We're declaring a variable increase, initializing with the value 0. Okay, here we are asking the user, prompting the user, enter increase amount. Okay, CRN increase. For int, x is equal to 0, x is less than 6, x plus and equals to 1. Okay, numbers x plus and equals to increase and 4. The for loop. Okay? So the for loop assigns the number, assigns the sum to each element in the 6 elements numbers array. Each sum is calculated by adding the value stored in the current element to the array stored in the increase variable. We try to run these programs in the lab when you come to the lab this week. Okay? How do you expect operator to store data in one-dimensional array? Here's an example. CRN, the statement stores the user's entry into the first element in the letters array. So this is how you accept any data entered from the keyboard into an array. CRN, letter 0, 0 represents the first position inside the array. Here's an example. 4 int 0 to 0, sub is less than 4, sub plus and equals to 1. Enter the sales for region, sub plus 1, CRN, so it's going to loop. Okay, the for loop stores the user's entries in the 4 element sales array. Okay, here we are populating the array. Okay, the name of the array is sales. We are populating the array with 3 elements. Okay, 3 elements from 0 to 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Example number 3, int x 0 to 0, while x is less than 5, so from 0 to 5. Okay, so from 0 to 5, that's how many elements? 0 to 5, that's 6 elements. Eh? See how the number, enter an integer, CRN, numbers x, plus and equals to 1 and 1. The while loop stores the user's entries in the 6 elements numbers array. Okay, and then figure x. We will try and code this in the lab, then we'll see the output. But what's important for you to remember and learn from now is how do you declare a single dimension array and how do you declare a two-dimensional array. Okay, and you will use the while loop to populate. You'll also use the while loop to display the content of the array. These are the facts that you want to remember for now. We'll try and do the lab for this in when you come to the lab this week. You'll use the loop to populate. You'll also use the loop to display the content of the array. Okay, the calories program. The program uses a 5-element array to store the number of calories consumed each day for 5 days. Daily calories are entered by the user, then displayed on the computer screen. So here is the algorithm. That's a flow chart. Okay, we're interested in the code, so this is the actual code. Okay, in calories 5, the size of the array is 5. We are initializing the calories array with an integer 0. So that's an array declaration. Store the data in the array. Here we are populating the same array. Okay, this is how you're going to populate it. 4 in sub is equal to 0. Here we are declaring a variable sub inside the for loop. Can you declare this this sub outside the loop? Yes, you can. Okay, you can type in sub is equal to 0 outside the loop. Okay, but here, because you're using the for loop, the first part of the for loop is to initialize the variable. So in sub is equal to 0. Here we are testing condition, sub is less than 5, so from 0 to 5, that's 5 elements. Sub plus n equals to 1. Calories for the day, sub plus 1. So the first position of the array is going to be filled with 0. Okay, the next one is going to be 1. Okay, sub plus 1, 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. So number, whatever you enter as the number will go inside the first position. So the first one is already 0. Next one is going to be depending on what number you type. Display the content of the array. As mentioned a while ago, you will use the loop to populate the array in the first part from instruction number 12, from line number 12 to line number 16. We are using those codes to populate the array. Size of the array is 5. That was already declared in line number 9. We are using this for loop to populate the array. And from line number 18 to line number 23, we are using another loop to display the content of the array. First we populate, add the data into the array. Okay, the second set of loop, or the second loop, allows us to display the outputs, to display the content of the array. Okay, let me just quickly enter that, let me delete this. Let me just quickly type the codes. So int kilo, 5 is the size of the array, equal to, okay, open and close brace, initialize the array kilo. I'm not using the full name calories, I'm just shortening it to kilo. Okay, and I'm using the loop for open, initialize the counter, int sub equals to 0. That's the first part of the for loop. Okay, semicolon. Then the second part of the for loop is the condition. Sub is less than 5. Semicolon. That's the second part of the for loop. The last part is sub plus n equals to 1. We are incrementing. Sub plus equals to 1. Okay, then we press the enter key. Let's open a brace. This is the loop body. See out. Okay, open. Calories for day, space, close. Sub plus 1. Sub plus 1. Then open code space, full colon. Then we end with just a semicolon. And then here we are accepting the number CIN, extraction operator, then calories, sorry, kilo, because the name of our array is kilo, sub. Yeah. Okay, this is the, we are populating the array using these commands. I'll quickly copy this. Control C, Control V. Okay, I'm going to use the same loop this time to display the content of the array. Okay, but first, see out. Well, array contents. sub 0, sub is less than 5 plus calories per day plus 1 calories. We're just replacing these statements. Calories per day, sub plus 1, calories sub. Yeah, we take this off because we don't inputs, but we're just displaying outputs. Sub plus 1, semicolon, yellow, sub. And go.
सबरे कंसेंसस नहीं रहा होगा जब इसमें किसी ने अपना काम बना था आधा दिन में रकम मुझे
Okay, let's save this. Let's hope it's error free. Yes, it's error free. Okay, so here we're declaring the variable. Sorry, we're declaring an array. The name of the array is calo. Okay, the size of the array is 5. So we are allowing 5 elements to be stored inside the array. We are using the loop to populate the array. So for loop in sub 0, sub is equal to 0. Here we are initializing. Okay, the sub is going to be used as our increments. So in sub is equal to 0, sub is less than 5, sub plus n equals to 1. Calories for day, space, sub which is 0 plus 1, and then space, then colon. Okay, then we are expected to type a number. Whatever number you're going to enter is going to go inside the array. Okay, and here after populating the array, this loop is going to run multiple times. Okay, as long as sub is not equal to 0 or greater than 0, it's going to continue to run. Okay, after we populate the array, then here we are displaying the content of the array. The same numbers that we entered should be displayed back into the array. So let's run this program. Okay, calories for day 1, let's say 2. Enter. Calories for day 2, let's say 5. Calories for day 3, let's say 7. Calories for day 4, okay, that's 8. Calories for day 5, let's say it's 2 again. Make a different 9. Okay, so this is the content. Okay, that should be the end of our array. So calories for day 1 is 2, calories for day 2 is 5. That's simply recalling the data that we presented. So we are using the first array to populate. Okay, so we are using the first loop to populate the array. The second loop is just to display the content of the array that we just used. Okay, so the content of the array is 2, 5, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, 2, 5, 7, 8, and 9. So calories for day 1 is 2. And it's coming directly from here. So calories for day 1. We type a sub is equal to sub plus 1, sub is 0. Okay, so plus 1. Okay, whatever first number we enter is going to go inside the sub, which is position number 1 in the array. Okay, and then it's going to ask the same question, calories for day 2. Okay, so that's, I hope I'm trying to explain, I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain. For every array, you have to use a loop to populate it. Of course, you can populate the array yourself, but it's very important for you to understand how to use the loop and the array together. Moving forward to the final example. Knowing how the loop works and how you can use the loop to populate the array, and also how you can use the loop to display the content of the array. And this is a good example of it. We are using the first loop to populate the array. The second loop is to display the content of the first area. Yeah, so this is what you can enter these figures. Yeah, same answer, we just type the single values. Okay, very quickly, I'll go to the second part. How do you declare a two-dimensional array? Sorry, it's not one this object. This is just one-dimensional array. And page. Two-dimensional array is there. We will cover everything in the lab this weekend. So make sure you come to the lab. We will see whether we will spend 2 hours or 3 hours in the lab. But it's important that we are not going to focus only on arrays this week. We'll try and cover functions. We'll try and do some exercise on arrays. And we'll also try and cover the last topic, which is on sequential access files, file input and file output. Okay, where instead of accepting the input from the keyboard, you're going to type your input into a text file. You'll be required to write a code. That code should be able to open that file and access all the data that is stored in that file and throw it back on the screen. So that's the last topic. Okay, and in the final exam, like I said, I've already mentioned that, in the final exam, the coding part of the final exam focuses on these 3 topics, the last 3 topics. Functions, array, and file input and output. So make an effort to come to the lab this week, starting with those who attend tomorrow's lab, then another lab on the second lab, Thursday 12 o'clock, second lab, and another on Friday. Those 3 only 3 labs we have. One lab tomorrow from 1 to 3. Second lab is at 12 o'clock tomorrow, and the third stream is on Friday morning. Yeah, that's the end of our session today. We'll discuss everything about the final exam. We'll use the lab this week to revise, at the same time to cover those 3 topics, the last remaining topics. So see you in the lab this week.
IAS में रिपोर्ट पे पिंचुम दियो.
I'm looking for some past year's papers. Once I find them, can you access past final papers?